Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. The three of us are all back together. Obviously, that's the best when we're all together. Let's not waste a moment of time. Sammy, you know the drill. Start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. And it's the fourth TD pass of the day in the debut of Will Levis.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. I'm joined, as always, by my two counterparts, Jarett and Vin. Fellas, how are we doing on this Thursday night?
Doing really good. Hell yeah, dude. I'm back from vacation, much needed vacation with the wife in Antigua. If anybody has not been to Antigua, it is one beautiful island. So if you haven't had a chance, I would go.
Is it Antigua or Antigua? I thought
Antigua, it's the accents, whatever the hell you want to call
tomatoes.
it. Yeah, whatever you want to say, man.
Like how you momos call pork roll Taylor ham, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the way you pronounce Taylor Luan for about 6 years. How about that, too?
No, Luan and Kevin Byard, all right?
Kevin Byard. Anyway.
At least we can agree that Jared's wrong when he's calling it sauce. We know it's great.
Yeah, well, I think the all 15 people that live in Antigua for every day of the year, they're going to be okay. I'm hearing that. But
what language do they speak there, Jared?
American.
Really?
English, you mean?
English, American, whatever the hell you want to call it.
I wouldn't know an Antiguan if they fucking slap me in the face tomorrow. I'll be honest.
Nicest people. They have the freshest stuff, awesome food, best beaches. Go there. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. I mean, between the two of you, you've probably traveled about 450,000 miles over the past 6
Well,
months,
you got that big boy raise. You could afford to travel.
I'm still getting myself out of the hole. You know, that raise should have came about 20 years earlier. Then I would have been in Antigua and Turks and
just buying new cars and throwing in $500.
Oh yeah, I'm downgrading my car and doing all this great shit. But anyway, we'll talk about this on our own time. We're here to talk some Titans football, guys. As you know, yesterday started training camp for our Titans. Obviously, something that I saw from a mile away. I don't know about you guys, but Mr. Donovan Levis, William himself, was the first one in, as Mr. Donald Page showed us all, with his absolutely stunning Mercedes, as I would only assume he would have as a matte black Mercedes, like all franchise quarterback. Huh?
That was a dope-ass pick, too.
Oh, yeah, that got me out of bed. I fucking jumped out of bed when I saw that pick. Perfect pick.
You didn't even go to bed at that point. He was
I was trying to go to sleep. It was 4 a.m. I was trying to go to sleep and I couldn't. I jumped out. But what were your first thoughts, guys? Saw little clips. They unfortunately didn't give us as much as I would have liked, but they gave us some stuff to look at and obviously some interviews afterwards. What were your first impressions of day one and technically day two after today of training camp? Jarett?
Kick things off. Obviously, you're hearing a lot of people are winded. Some people aren't. I just want to hit Tredavian Sweat.
Tredavian Sweat. He was winded today.
Sweat. Listen. Trevon Sweat. Listen, it's training camp. He's a big body, 380 pounds, man. I mean, how isn't he gonna be winded after a couple? What the fuck are you laughing at?
I know because we're not saying his name right, and that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers.
Of course it is.
All of us aren't saying his name right, and I'm also laughing because it's ridiculous that we're making excuses for this fucking guy. He had 4 months.
It's not excuses
to get ready for training camp.
Listen, this is where I was getting at it. I mean, everyone's bashing the kid, and even Jim came out and defended him today. It's 96 degrees outside. He's 380 pounds, and he's still moving. God forbid he takes a slow rep. Snead is winded. Wide receivers are winded. It's the second day in camp, for Christ's sake.
You're right.
Let's see it in like mid-August. If he's in August, September, and he's in that shape, we got some problems.
No, you're right.
Fucking 98 degrees and put a helmet and back.
Guess what? He better get used to the
shout out 98 degrees. Nick Lachey.
Of course. Of course, you got to get used to it. But that's a look. I'm not worried about that like other people are. Some fans are bashing him. I'm not worried at all, like I said. But some good things and positive things. The chemistry, obviously, that DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley keep talking about. What Will Levis, it's obviously the time that they had this offseason in Cabo and Vanderbilt and so many other times that they threw. It's coming to fruition now in training camp where these guys are on the same page. Running this offense. Brian Callahan keeps on saying that, he's night and day from OTAs now. He feels more comfortable, which is really good to hear that, these guys are taking notes. They're studying together and it's coming onto the field. Just to see that and to get excited about that has me all juiced up. And just to hear Brian Callahan say that these guys are going to be playing in the preseason is big for me. I know we touched on it last offseason too, because you need that camaraderie to start, especially the offensive line and a new offense and a new defense. You can't just roll that out week one, all the starters playing together. You need to start gelling in the first 3 preseason games. And I'm not saying, play a couple, a series or 2 and then pull them, okay, but at least they're getting their feet wet with each other. So I'm like what I'm seeing so far within the first 2 days.
Well, for one, I am, Sal and I don't agree often, but I am a little worried about
common misconception, by the way, but go ahead. We do agree a lot. That's all right.
You want to let me talk?
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
You
Thanks.
say that all the time, and I don't like that. We agree a lot.
I am, for one, worried about Tavondre Sweat. Jarett, he better get used to playing in the heat because guess what? Nashville's in the South.
Oh, he played in Texas. Don't get me started. Come on.
Yeah, Jacksonville is in our division. Very hot outdoor stadium. Okay. So he better get used to playing in the heat, and he better lose a little bit of weight because 380 pounds.
No, he's not 380. I'm being facetious. I mean, come on. He was 360 weight.
Yeah,
facetious.
He's 420.
No, he came in at 360. They wanted him at 350. He's probably at 350.
Yeah, he's a big monster human being. I listen. I said from day one when we drafted him, I hope that he works out. I really do. But he missed some time in OTAs with an injury, this and that. He looked a little sluggish with his reps.
What the fuck's the injury?
I don't want to be no. In OTAs, he had some sort of he was staying out with some sort of I know.
That's my question. What is his injury? He's not doing shit. What did you have a wrist injury eating a fucking chicken wing? I mean, what's he doing?
Yeah, so that's why I think there's a little reason to have a bit of concern is because he came in behind the 8 ball with his past and what happened before the draft, missed some time in OTAs, looks a little sluggish the first day of camp. So he's kind of given us reason to believe that the people who were skeptical for a reason. In my opinion, I hope I'm
way
wrong.
To put it.
I think the people who are skeptical, there's a reason for it. And I think that we should really hope and pray that he gets it together because you need your second-round picks to work out, especially this year where we didn't have a third-round pick, especially when our interior defensive line is lacking plenty of depth. So we need him, and we need him bad. So I'm not saying I don't want it to work out. Of course I do. But I am a little concerned, for the time being. As far as Will Levis, I have all the confidence in the world in him. Watching him spin the ball just makes me happy. You'll love the fact that he's posted that picture of first guy in, that sick picture of him with the bends, and you love to see it. And everything has looked good so far. But guess what? A lot of things look good in camp for every team every year. Take everything you see in camp with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Like Nick Westbrook making a good catch.
Beautiful catch. That's
Kyle Phillips lighting up the last 2 training camps and hasn't done anything.
I even heard Traylon Burks is looking great as a gunner. So one player that I did want to talk about a little bit though, guys, and we haven't really talked about him at all. He was hyped up for his second year last year. Kind of came on a little bit at the end of the year, struggled early on, but we have a great wide receiver room we added to in the offseason. We added to the running back room. Even though we lost Eric Henry, we have a 2-headed monster now. But the forgotten man to me seems to be Chigakonkwo. And I've heard and seen on Twitter the last few days, it seems like, as Sal likes to call him, William Donovan Levis and Chigakonkwo are starting to develop a bit of a rapport, which you love to see, because even though he's had his issues with drops, Chigakonkwo is as athletic as it gets at the tight end position. I remember Jarett? He ran the fastest 40 for any tight end in the year he got drafted. So this is kind of not a make or break year for him. He showed flashes his rookie year, kind of had a sophomore slump. He's going to get plenty of opportunities this year. There's going to be a lot of attention on Hopkins, on Calvin Ridley, on Tyler Boyd, on Pollard, on Spears. So he's going to get a lot of single coverage, you would like to assume, against smaller guys in the slot. You can use him in motion. You can get very, very creative with him. So he's someone also that we haven't talked about at all, it seems like, the whole offseason. And rightfully so. He hasn't given us much to talk about. But are you guys as optimistic as I am that Chigakonkwo could break out finally in year 3 with this new pass-friendly offense?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that obviously does good things when he has the ball in his hands, but that was kind of the issue last year. He made a lot of bad drops. Didn't seem like he was, getting open as easily as he was prior. Now, I don't know if that could be attested to some injury. I don't know. I'm not throwing in the towel on him. I can't say I'm going into this year thinking he's going to be a potential Pro Bowl caliber tight end. But I think there's still some upside there. Definitely some upside. But I'm curious to see what maybe Josh Wiley could do. I'll be honest. I mean, he's a guy that, again, it's just like someone that large. If he's able to move on the field, you got to think something good can come of that. He's 6'7". So I'd be curious to see. I think it's safe to say he's definitely making the team, Josh Wiley. So, he'll have an opportunity or two. We're very thin at tight end, as we all know. So I'm really interested in him. But, yeah, Chig has a great opportunity. He should be single covered every single time he steps foot on the field. Not like he was really getting doubled last year, his rookie year, but there were some times he might have gotten to see a little bit of extra help on the back end. That ain't happening this year. That is for damn sure. So the tight end for Tennessee, whoever that's going to be predominantly, should produce a lot because he's going to have a lot of opportunities in the middle of the field. We know Callahan's going to be working some stuff up no matter what. So, yeah, definitely excited. I thought you were going to say Malik Willis, to be honest, when you were talking about someone that we haven't. But I digress. Yeah, absolutely. Jared, we got some clips, right? I think they've got some clips.
We do have some clips. Before I get to the one, I just want my take on real quick on Chig. If you heard Brian Callahan's press conference today, he talked about the tight end room being so young and very optimistic with those two. I think that's why. I mean, we put our like Vince said, we went wide receiver, we went running back and everything. I think you're going to see more one-on-one coverages with the tight ends this year and give them more opportunities for Chig and Wiley. But just going off of the tight ends, you're going to see, in my opinion, I think you're going to see more tight end screens with Chig, given the opportunity. And he needs to step up, to be honest with you. But anything else you guys want on Chig or anything?
No, I mean, like I said, I think, he's going to have a tremendous opportunity. I hope he takes advantage of it. I really do.
Yeah, I just wanted to give him his time on the show a little bit. Not that he really cares all that much, but we've talked about everyone on this offense, including offensive linemen, besides Chigakonkwo. So I think he's a name where last year everyone was talking about him, and that's usually when I like to fade people and the public is high on somebody. Now the public is very, very, not to say they're low on him. I just think they kind of forgot about him. And I think he's going to turn some heads and surprise.
He's going to have every opportunity, man. He's going to have every opportunity in this pass-heavy offense, and it's going to be pass-heavy. All the wide receivers have been saying it, so you can't cover all of them because if you technically have 3 wide receivers, you're going to have the 4th with Chig out there if they're going 3 wide. So I'm happy for it. But speaking of it, we're gonna bring up a Brian Callahan clip. He talked about Will Levis being ready for this this season and how he came into training camp. So Sammy, roll that clip.
Will and the offense through 2 days, what have you seen?
Very pleased, very pleased. I think Will's doing a great job playing on time. You know, obviously we're again focused on a little bit more of the timing elements, the shorter passing game. But man, he's been really impressive. I think his hard work this offseason and over the summer has really paid off. He's incredibly confident right now, and he's earned that confidence. And every day that he comes out and plays well, he earns more confidence. And I think that's the fun part about where he's at. He's dialed in. He has studied. You can just tell he's ready for what's ahead. And I think I told him yesterday, if he keeps stacking days like he had yesterday and today, he's gonna play pretty good football. And it's a day by day process, and we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But I've been really pleased with where he's at.
I'm gonna get a little crucified for saying this right now, but
put Tannehill back in.
To me, no, it's just positive. To me, after hearing that and then seeing this whole offseason with Will Levis, what he's doing, trying to mimic other quarterbacks in the league, doesn't it like kind of give you that like mini Brady feel? Brady did it. Brady did it with like Edelman and all his guys at the beach, working out with them. They go to Cabo. He's prepared. He's studying like Peyton Manning and all this other stuff. I mean, I got a good feeling.
Kiss of death right there.
I got a good feeling about it.
I wish I had holy water. I'd fucking sprinkle the camera right now.
I'm the kiss of death.
We're already putting him. Okay. Listen, I did say this at one point. I said something similar to the effect of his drive, his passion for the game. If that's what you mean, that's fine. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course. I mean, listen,
saying play style.
Yes,
I just said the way he's portraying himself.
Absolutely, you're right. That I apologize for assuming otherwise. Yes. He absolutely does. I mean, listen, guys, we all know we got to take everything right now with a grain of salt. Okay. Absolutely. He could look like fucking Dan Marino and, Tom Brady, Montana combined right now on the field during training camp. Nothing's going to matter until that first series in Chicago. We're going to find out how ready he is and how prepared for year one of being the starter he is. So it's great to hear these things. As you guys all know, me more than at least before the two of you, I had all the confidence in the world in Will, and I still do. But I'm not going to get
Huh? You had all the confidence in Malik Willis too. So
that's not true. I just wanted him to play over fucking.
We're gonna have to get Sammy to start community.
I wanted him to play besides that fucking bullshit quarterback that you guys all were delusional about. That Ryan Tannehill could barely anything. And we're not going to backtrack. We're going to look forward. I'm not going to get extra excited over what Callahan says over Levis because I already have all the confidence in the world in him, and he's never going to say anything poorly about him, obviously. But the reporters would be saying shit if he wasn't playing well, and I haven't heard a peep yet. I've heard nothing but positivity from the media about it, so that is obviously great to see. And the fact that he's doing all this stuff, which again, you're just to attest to what you said, Jarett, even more how you're correct. The fact that he's doing all this stuff, this veteran, been there before stuff, year one as a starter, when a year ago at this time, he was the third string, that just speaks volumes of the leader that we have. And that is so important. It's so important. I mean, we got tastes of it with Mariota. He had a couple practices at colleges. He brought fucking Tajay Sharp too, and whoever the fuck else was playing at that time. And I think Tannehill maybe did a workout with A.J. Brown and Julio once during that summer offseason. But for the most part, we haven't had true leaders in the locker room and at the podium and everywhere else they are. And that's something that all these other elite teams have. Hopefully this is the one that we're going to be sticking with for the foreseeable future. And
Sal, we're lucky. We're lucky, and not to digress, that Levis didn't play the whole season last year because he would have died.
He would have died, yeah.
Tannehill got hurt. Levis got hurt.
We sacrificed Tannehill.
Yeah. Tannehill, I don't even never mind. Anyways, I'm just saying it was a blessing. It was a blessing that we only got tastes of him, and we knew that from the limited film we got on him that we knew that he could be the guy going for it. Because had he tried to play 16 games, there was no quarterback in the world starting all 16 games for the Tennessee Titans, 17 games for the Tennessee Titans last year behind that offensive line.
Nobody
one.
Human. No. Nobody with no one with a heartbeat.
No, absolutely not. So, listen, Callahan, obviously, I think it was on the Bustin' with the Boys podcast. Will Levis is pretty much the reason why he took this job.
Yeah.
He believes very, very highly in him, thinks sky's the limit for him, as do we. And we all have all the confidence in the world in Will Levis at this point. Something else I wanted to talk about, though. Are you guys worried at all about Awuzie and his injury and how long he'll be kept out and how long we've been hyping up this new secondary just for our new, $30 million man to be out for the next month? Are you guys all at all concerned about that?
Not really. Not really.
I mean,
not really.
Somewhat.
It's a calf, I think.
Yeah, somewhat. I'm worried about it. You want to talk about worried? I'm not worried about Sweat. I'm worried about Cheeto because of the fact of it's a new defense. He needs to play. The continuity with the defense. So I don't want him just rolling out because he's not going to get the reps. Yeah, he's going to get the mental reps. And Snead said it in his press conference today. He's very attention to detail. He's very vocal that he's still out with his injury. But you still need to be out on the field with your guys. You need to take those reps. We have great wide receivers to match up with. So he may show a little rust right away. Hopefully the training staff, knock on wood, all of us and everybody listening, because we don't need no more injuries like we had. New training staff, hopefully they get everything right and get these guys up to speed very fast. So I am concerned a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, to kind of touch on again what we said earlier about the fact that Callahan's saying they're all playing. Why I'm okay with that and I like that, number one, as I've said a million times, this is the most changed Titans team from one year to last in our lifetime. So that's very important that they get as acclimated to each other as they can. And we know all fine and well, and I don't have any problem saying it out loud because it's either going to be the case or not going to be the case. If this is a new Tennessee Titans team, and I'm talking from reality all the way to spiritually, they're going to be able to play as much as Callahan wants the starters and not get hurt. That's just the way it's going to be. If this is going to be the same old Titans, then you know damn well one of our stars is going to get hurt permanently in one of these preseason games. Now, knock on wood. I'm just saying,
why even put that into the universe?
You know why, Vin? Because we've been plagued so long by this bullshit that it's either going to be different now or it's not. That's it. Me saying it out loud isn't going to change nothing.
You pray that it's different now. Like I said, whole new training staff, whole new
mentality. I like the fact that they're going to play them. I don't think they're going to play as much as we think or most fans think they are. I think it's going to be what Jarett said earlier. You're going to see Will Levis and company and Jeffrey Simmons and company in there for 3 to 5 series, maybe for each game.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That is a lot, but it's also very bland, vanilla play calling because you're not going to give anything away in the preseason.
Sure.
But listen, I would like to see them and Will Levis. When I say them, I mean Will Levis put together a nice couple drives. And I believe that you have to play your starters in the preseason for at least a little bit, just because you need to get them used to playing against an actual opponent, and you need to get our basically brand new franchise quarterback acquainted with his new weaponry. So I think they'll play maybe not as much as people think. I would say anywhere from 3 to 5 series. I think so. But we'll see. I am, for one, not only concerned about T'Vondre Sweat and his inability to do just about anything right at this point in his young Titans career, but also our $30 million man, Awuzie. A calf injury is a little bit worrisome for me when you're talking about a defensive back, when they pedal on their toes. Jarett, you played a lot of football. You're putting a lot of pressure on your calves when you're pedaling backwards at the speed in which you have to at the NFL level. So who knows? Maybe he came into camp a little out of shape. Maybe all that money made him a little lazy. Who knows? We'll see. But I am not only worried about Sweat, but Awuzie. Not to be Olivia Soprano here, but I'm a little concerned.
Yeah,
especially when defense is going to be a giant question mark for us all year.
I really wouldn't say question mark. I think they're going to be ready to play.
Yeah, I don't know about giant, but there's still some unanswered questions.
It could be good. It could be bad. You don't know.
With our secondary, if Awuzie isn't out for the year, God forbid, they just cannot be the worst. They cannot. No. They by default.
You can plug McCreary in there, and then you can bump Molden down into the nickel or anything. Yeah, so I'm not worried about that. Jamal Adams that coming down on a dime package to be a linebacker too.
They got to be better. But they got to be better than last year. There's no way around it. They just have to be. Not like last year was terrible, but this year's defense was nothing to write home about, all things considered. So they by default they should be better. But we'll see. They're all going to play. We'll find out. Jarett, we got another vid, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of playmakers, Vin brought it up with wide receivers and everything before. We had DeAndre Hopkins. He was asked a question about him liking Nashville, especially his contract. It's his contract year. And this is what he had to say about Nashville.
Tennessee. I love, what Miss Amy's doing. So, I think this is, the happiest I've been in any organization. So, just let that speak for itself.
What is it? I mean, that's all you need to hear.
Exactly.
Happiest he's ever been in any organization. And that is including Houston, Arizona. Now, we know Arizona is a disgrace of an organization, so that's not saying much. But for him to say that publicly is a big deal. It goes without saying, I think, at this point, an extension for him should be something they should look into for sure. He's not 1,000 years old, okay?
He can 32, old for a wide receiver in the NFL. But you know what? He's producing, man.
He's younger than Jarett.
He's younger than me. He's producing, though.
Listen, even a over-the-hill DeAndre Hopkins is a top 20 receiver in Titans history, okay?
I said it that I think he'll be in this league for 5 or 6 more years, just for the sole fact of his ability to run routes and get open and separation. And I think, not to cut you off, Sal, I'm sorry, but I agree with you. I think he'll be a guy, if you see him play really well 5, 6, 7 weeks into the season. It doesn't happen often. Don't be surprised if you get an in-season extension with him for another year at the same number. 14, 15 million. I would be entirely okay with that. And if they don't, and he plays the whole year and does what he does last year, if not better, and we either make the playoffs or come close to it, I don't think he would have a reason to leave. I think he follow him on social media.
He loves the Titans, man.
Loves Nashville, loves it. Not only that, but we are a poppin' city. Now, when I say we don't live there, but Nashville's a poppin' city. There is no state income tax there as well. So when you're talking about millions of dollars, I think that, some people might say, well, what's the difference? You're making millions either way. But if you're 15 million there is going to net you 14 million as opposed to 15 million netting you 8 million, it is a big difference. You know what I mean? So, and I think he likes being the guy again. You know what I mean? Not to say he will be this year, because we have other, we've added other players, but he's going to get his fair share of targets. So
yeah,
I'd be okay if he plays the rest of his career with us.
I think what they should do is, I think they should give him, honestly, a 2-year extension and incentivize games played. Incentivize games played and give him a lot of money. Say, listen, you play 16 games, we'll give you $18 million. Because if he's on the field, he's healthy and he's going to produce and he's going to help your team win games.
And he doesn't really take hits. He's smart about that.
No, he's very smart with his route running, and he doesn't. Yeah, he goes out of bounds when he needs to go out of bounds.
Catches everything.
Give him a 2-year, $14 million 2-year extension with incentives to get to 18. I don't care. I want him with Levis.
He's made his money, absolutely, and they already identified.
You'd be okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if they did that tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, and they already said they identified people on the roster that they're trying to extend if they wanted to extend.
Because it's either the same money he's making now or more because he's playing nearly a whole season. So you cannot be upset giving D-Hop $18 million if he's going to play 15 games this year. So
absolutely.
No, I mean, Rand, if you're listening, pen that paper. Let's get that set up. But we got to think one more clip, Jay, right?
Yeah, we got one more clip. But before we segue in that clip really quick, I want to just get into it like this. Before the show, we were all talking, busting each other's chops about the Titans. Everybody out here on all the sites, all the betting sites too right now. The Titans are plus 900 to win a division, plus 1,000. Have us the worst team in the division. I think it's absolutely laughable. I know you guys will have your takes on it after the video too, but here is one guy who's very popular in the football world, Rich Eisen, saying that he has the Titans as his breakout team. So go ahead, roll it, Sam.
Number one, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs because you're in a conference that's going to be real tough, but I'm going there. My number one sleeper team
you're doing it, aren't you?
For this year is the team that everybody thinks is going to lose to their team in the win-loss game. I'm going to Tennessee Titans.
You are, okay.
I'm going to Tennessee Titans with Will Levis, putting bananas and mayonnaise in his coffee, whatever the hell it is.
Eating banana peels.
Oh, whatever.
I think that was all bad.
The wide receiver room, Calvin Ridley, D-Hop, and Tyler Boyd. And this guy, Brian Callahan, he's from the McVay tree, people.
And his dad's there.
And his dad's there coaching up the offensive line, a running game. I know everybody thinks Derrick Henry's gone. It's going to be garbage. Todd Spears and Pollard. Jeffrey Simmons. That's number one.
We call that a wide open division?
I don't know about it, but I just think they're going to be better than you think.
Okay.
Listen, man, Rich has seen a lot of football. Yeah, Rich has seen a lot of football over the years, and he's a very smart guy. And everyone, listen, I love being the underdog. Everyone is brushing the Titans off because it's a new coach and a fresh system, but it's hard to argue the fact of our wide receiver room is the best that we've ever had in Titans history. We have two starting running backs that you can plug into the backfield and put on either side of Will Levis, and we have a young, promising defense that's loaded in the back end for the first time in a very long time for our secondary. And now we possibly may not be done because we may have Diggs coming in the secondary as well. He's very close to Adams. Adams is going to be in his ear, and they're looking to sign somebody. So I'm like I said, I'm all in on it.
I'll tell you this. Rich, I watched that whole segment. Rich Eisen had the Commanders too.
Yeah.
So I don't. So Commanders going to be horrible this year. They're not a sleeper team.
I don't know about that. Don't laugh.
No, Commanders are going to be.
I didn't know Mariota was on the Commanders until yesterday.
No, he is, and he's not seeing one snap. So that's unfortunate for him. But it's still good to hear. Rich Eisen's always been the one guy consistently who, if nothing else, speaks of us with some regularity. So a lot of respect for Rich Eisen. For giving us some love. And listen, anyone with two eyeballs could tell you, if you're a real football fan, you're not taking the Titans as one of the bottom 5 teams in the league. Like a lot of these people that get paid to do this are putting them. If you are a real football fan, you know the Titans aren't a bottom 5 team. I'm not going to say they're going to win double-digit games. I could be wrong. Maybe they win 8 this year. That would be a failure. But they're not going to win 4 games this year. They are not. So,
and how can they compare us to the bottom half of the league? Because I think we had a similar off season as the Houston Texans did last year, and look what they did last year. I mean, Houston had a really good off season this year too. But how can you compare and say that we didn't do anything and we're going to pick 4 in the draft next year? It just makes no sense in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I absolutely and. Jarett, you called him Rich Eisen. You're
I'm all over the place. I understand. That's my slang.
That's the accent he picked up in Antigua. Yeah, that's what that was.
Devion Sweat, Rich Eisen. Yeah. All right. It's all right. It's late. It's all right.
That's it.
That's the Antiguan slang.
That's it.
Yeah, but he's always been someone who speaks of it, as has can't think of his name at the moment. I don't want to mispronounce it. The guy on NFL Network, the Jack guy. Forget his name, but he's always talked about it a little bit as well on NFL Network.
Oh, the guy who does the angry runs.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Kyle Brandt.
Yeah, he's always speaking of us as well. But I think you're starting to see more people when you really look at it and what we did this offseason, starting to really open their eyes to us. Because not only did we make moves on offense, but defensively we added Snead, who's arguably, he's definitely a top 5 corner, maybe top 3, maybe the best corner in some people's eyes. Awuzie, even though he's been hurt, has been solid for a long time. I think what we did on offense, on defense, you'll see it in another month or so. And there's no shot we're winning. I think our floor is 7 wins. I think that's our floor. That's our floor. That's as worse as because.
No, I'm saying that is a hell of a floor there, Vin. That's a great floor.
Football is a weird game, and that ball is shaped funky, and it bounces all kinds of different ways. And the difference between, I say it all the time, the difference between being 7 and 10 and 10 and 7 is this much. A few close games go your way, a few close games don't go your way. It's the difference. Even last year, guys, there was a handful of games. If we would have won, we would have been 9 and 8 instead of 6 and 11.
Listen, I'll tell you what. You said the difference between 7 and 8 and 8. And what was the other one? Is this how much?
7 and 10 and 10 and 7.
All right. Well, let me tell you, Will Levis got about this much. So I think our odds are pretty good that he's going to be good this year.
How do you know he's got this much, buddy?
I didn't fit the screen.
That's what I swear on my mother's life, I won't and will not watch any of that. But
we don't even know what
say
you're talking about, bro. We don't.
Oh, you damn well fucking do. And everyone home watching knows what the fuck I'm talking about too.
No.
Yeah. Big Willie style in the building.
All right. Well.
All right. Let's get into our new sponsor.
Yes.
Wonderful segue into this. Talking about our quarterbacks.
Well, you got the Angry Run shirt on, so it's perfect.
And it is one of, if not the most comfortable shirt I own. A little tight right now because I've been hitting the gym a little, but nevertheless, we're going to talk about homage. Did I say that right?
Homage.
It's homage. Homage. We'll never mispronounce it again. Homage is our new sponsor right now. Make sure you go check out their stuff. Top of the line sports merch. And I'm not just saying that because they sponsor us. I spent a good hour on that site, and I couldn't wait to find out when my next check was coming in because they have superior stuff. They really, really do. Make sure you check them out at homage.com, HOMAGE.com.
Yeah, link is going to be in the YouTube chat after this. It'll be on all of our socials as well, and the podcast social as well. So look out for the link and shop. I mean, this is another one, Victory Monday. Obviously, one of the best sweatshirts I've ever owned. Very comfortable. It's not tight like Sal. I am not hitting the gym at all, but very comfortable on the inside. Keeps you warm.
By the way, I said it wrong again.
At 3 a.m. Sal's in the kitchen at 3 a.m.
That's it. That's how I know. You remember. You know it, Vin. I'm glad you fucking know it.
Sal. You forget. I remember everything.
Yeah.
That being said, shout out Homage and their token of faith in us and the sick team. Hopefully we don't let them down, and hopefully our subscribers and listeners don't let us down. They use our link, they get their nice little discount, they get their nice gear from Homage, and hopefully it's a great season for Homage, a great season for us, a great season for William Donovan Levis.
Yes, that's it. Absolutely. I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys.
I'm gonna convince my wife on Willa Levis Lombard for our baby girl.
Say that again.
Willa Levis Lombard.
There you go.
And and Alyssa confirmed that's going to happen. She's okay with that?
No, not at all. I'm trying.
Okay. All right. I would start with maybe Levis as the middle name and then work your way into William being the first.
No, Willa.
Willa. Oh, that's right. You found out it's a girl. That's right. I forgot.
It is a girl. Yeah.
Yes. If anybody didn't know that, Vinny is going to be a new girl dad.
Girl dad.
Yes. My only goal is to keep away from the Sal Manfredis of the world, and I've done my job.
No, Vin, I promise you, my friend, your daughter could only be so lucky to one day find the man with my moral compass to spend the rest of her life with. So I'll be saying a prayer that she finds that man in 25 years, whenever that will be.
No boys allowed. I never realized how disgusting we are as men until I realized I was having a daughter.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Jarett does not have to worry about that, thankfully, and he never will. Right?
Recaged animals.
Jarett will join our houses. A little foot lumbar. You know, you gotta.
So Jared's kids are, but Sal's kids. Sal's kids can never be near my daughters.
Jared's different. You gotta find someone to procreate with first before we get to that point. You know what I mean?
What'd you say?
I said we gotta find someone for you to procreate with before we get to that point.
Yeah, and we're a ways away from that, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, some might say fortunately.
Watch out, lady. Cal got dance moves. I'll give him that. He's got dance moves.
That's the only reason that there's anyone ever interested in me is my dance moves. That's it. Nothing else. But I digress. Guys, as always, it's been an honor to be with you tonight talking Titans football. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. The more support we have from all of you, the better off we will be, and the better we'll be able to grow and bring you the best content that we try to do each and every week. So I hope everyone enjoys their weekend. And Tavondre Sweat, the door's open. If you want to hit the gym with me, we could do some treadmill work, get that conditioning up. I want you to succeed, my friend, just as much as Jarett does. But we got to get that conditioning up for the sake of all of us as Titan fans. But nevertheless, guys, enjoy your night, everyone. And as always, tighten up. Sammy, send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.